between 1 and 5. I wrote down what I did last time. I need to rethink my design. May I finish recording? Welcome back to the Chaos Corner. I'm Em. This is Em's Crochet Chaos, and today, I don't know what we're doing. We're gonna figure that out together because I've got multiple WIPs I need to work on, as well as if I really do want to try this market thing, I do need to make inventory. So I'm a little not sure what to do. I'm a little bit in a project paralysis. I finished one WIP, which I'm super excited about. I will show you once the recipient has received it. They don't know it's coming. It's a surprise. And I started another one. There'll be a series about that coming soon. Just a mindless blanket project, but I need to work on the other things I have going. We have a few things going on right now. So like I mentioned, first, there is inventory build I need to be doing. I have been working on some scrunchies, but I'm not in a mood for scrunchies today. I'm not in a mood to deal with the velvet yarn kind of flying around. But there were a couple other items that I wanted to work on. One are cup koozies. I have been working on this design of how I would like cup koozies. I do need to make it a little bit smaller because it is kind of going all the way up. So I want to make it a little bit tighter, and I want to start playing around with some color concepts to really see that pattern even more. What I really like about this design is that, at least for me, and I realize I got small hands, but like you kind of have a little bit of a grip with the fingers. So that's what I really liked about using this this stitch to make the pattern. So potentially work on those. The other thing that I want to figure out is making, trying to see if I can make a roller skate. I had posted previously that I figured out how to kind of make this like foot pattern, and then I continued on with that design, and it's not bad. Like, it definitely has a skate vibe, and I've got my tongue here, but when I stuffed it, it really is a lot more round, and you're kind of losing that foot shape that I had worked on. You know, I can carve it back out with the stuffing, but it just kind of, it either makes this really puffy round or when I flatten it out, then this kind of straightens out again. So again, I'm happy with the progress I've made with it, but it would be playing around because I really do want to see if I can make some roller skates to have if I do start selling at roller derby events, because I think that'd be really fun. And I have that roller rink yarn, and I think both would just be a really fun combination. So that is our second option for today. Number 3 is working on our Astral Event Wrap. Again, I have been showing this to you guys. I've been showing you the progress, and it's been coming along great. And I love this project, but it's been on a bit of a hiatus this past month because I made a mistake. So you can see I have my stitch marker here of where my mistake was. I basically just skipped over a stitch right here. You can kind of see that hole, and that has made my count one less for all of the remaining rows afterwards. So what it means is I need to frog all those rows. I need to grab the scraps for each of those skeins because I will need a little bit more to make sure that I have enough for that extra stitch, as well as enough to sew in my ends at the end. So this, I just haven't been wanting to go back on this because I've been so happy with how everything has worked, but I need to not just put it off. So this is option number 3. Option number 4 is the Fairway sweater. I know the last time I posted on it, we had started the ribbing, and I have not done anything with that ribbing since. Sometimes I'm very much a go and just groove through the ribbing, and it winds up being a lot less time than I think it's going to be. It just feels like it's a daunting on a new process. But I haven't finished the ribbing at the bottom, which means I haven't even started the sleeves, and I don't want to have the ribbing prevent me from being able to get past Sleeve Island. So that is project number 4. Was there number 5? I feel like there was number 5. Let me check. I remembered. Project number 5 is the cardigan I have not worked on all year. So this is, this probably hasn't been worked on since November 25. Project number 5, going with the Autumn Dot cardigan. So let's figure out which project we are working on today. Pick a number between 1 and 5.
A random number between 1 and 5 is 2.
2, which I believe was the skate. let's work on the skate. All right, I just wanted to get a little bit closer to the camera here so we can kind of analyze the skate prototype I already have made. I had designed this kind of footbed, and you can kind of see the way that shape is, that it goes out here and around. Let me try and see if I can, so it kind of makes that footbed shape. Okay, but when we started building up the sides and stuffing, it did get a lot rounder and a little more just, you know, that shape I made doesn't stand out as much. Not to mention just kind of going up and in started to make these sides a lot puffier. And to me, it does still look like a skate, and it does still look like more a roller derby skate. A roller derby skate, look at, they're usually low profile. People do have ones that go above their ankles, but they're a lot more low profile. If you look at speed skating skates, they're very similar to that design. In fact, a lot of speed skating skates kind of, well, I don't want to say a lot, but there are speed skating, like there's speed skating companies that literally make roller derby skates. Those are my skates. I learned to speed skate before I ever learned roller derby. So it was a company that I already had skates in and I really enjoy. So I just went ahead when I went and got roller derby skates. Once I got past my like initial brand, like entry level skates, I started buying from this company again, and have had 2 pairs from them. I absolutely love my skates. The last pair I got were customized, so they, my derby name is Spider Wham, and so they're in red and blue, and they say Spider Wham on them. I really love those skates, but I have foot problems, and my one foot, well, I have a problem with one foot and ankle, so by customizing them, I was able to get the shape to really support that foot. And then I got to play around with the designs, and it made it really fun. So I do feel like it kind of gets that basic shape. Now, the thing is here is because I kind of was coming in and around with this bottom here, then when I went to build the tongue, it wound up being diagonal. And I like the shape of the top of the tongue, and I like the fact that it is kind of, you see that separation of the tongue versus the skate itself against the boot. But I don't think it's bad. I just would like to see if I could find out a way where I can do these rows really perpendicular to the boot versus in this, you know, slant. So those are the things I'm trying to see if I can fix with the prototype. The plan would be to embroider laces across, just, you know, putting some loose threads through and tying them in a loop. I would need to do a little bit of a close off here for the stuffing, and then need to figure out how I would want to do little 4 wheels for them and have a skate. I have my notebook. I wrote down what I did last time and the kind of different things that I did in order to get the footbed in the shape that I wanted, and how I went up with the rest of the boot from there. So I'm going to use this as my reference going forward, and we will continue to mark down our adjustments. I also grabbed the grays that I used for the curling stone a few videos ago. What I wanted to do was, I want to have a better distinction when I look at it from a prototype of separate pieces. So my thought is, one, I want to make the footbed one color, and then I think I might go a little more on the construction of the, I was trying to see if I could do it like like as much as one piece as possible to make it low sew, but I think in order to kind of have the structure the way I want it, I'm going to have to do the construction more like a roller skate, where you've got your footbed, you've got your side panels, and then your toe box goes into your tongue. Like, I mean, it's pretty similar to regular sneaker construction as well. I was curious to see if I could kind of make it all one piece. I'm hoping by making it the separate pieces that when I stuff it, it has a little more structure to it, and I don't get that roundedness to it. But the only way we know is that we try. So if you'd like to go ahead and join me, grab a drink, grab a snack, grab a project, and let's get going. All right, so looks like it was my 4th attempt with a hook 4mm that I got the way I wanted it to look. So let's see if I can read what I wrote. Before I forget, let's mark things. Back at the end of row 2. Row 2, done. Row 3. I'm thinking I wasn't as exaggerated with it as I thought I was last time. I think what made it was when I started working up, you kind of saw that shape more, but since I stuffed it and it didn't really keep that shape very well, I think I need this footbed to have a little bit more distinction of really having the like outer and kind of pulling in, not just at the bottom, but like really pulling in and making that arch. I need to go back 2 rows, try something with 4, and then 5, and we can see how we do. Frogged back to round 3. I took some notes of how I think I want round 4 to go. Of course, I'll adjust them on the fly. I think a lot of this is gonna be some feel of how I think it's working out in placement. And then we'll see what we do for round 5. I think I still want 5 for the footbed. I think that's where I want it to stop. So we have 2 rows of making the shape this time, and hopefully that really solidifies a foot shape. I think that has gotten us pretty much how I would like it, and that definitely has a more distinct shape. We're definitely way past the oval. I have drawn up something. Oh, you see? So I figured out basically I think what I want for the walls to kind of be like slant on the one side, straight up in the other, and then maybe like one parallel row to kind of make that little ankle boot part of the shape, like the ankle cup. Tongue is a little bit different. We're gonna do a trapezoid, and then basically when I get to the point that I want the tongue's width to be, and it's been, I think it'll be covered in enough by the decrease of the wall, then that will go straight up, and then I would like to curve it, which I didn't think about. I didn't plan that yet. So I'll figure out how we'll do like a little, probably just like a little couple half double crochets to just make a little bit of a curve, and then sew it all together. The question is, do I want to try and slip stitch each of those pieces into the footbed and then build it out? Maybe, but not today. I think today is just making the flat pieces and then sew it all together, see if they're even the shapes that I do want, and go from there. The lighter gray that I had on hand for making the curling stone, I just want something with a contrast to see how that works. And let's kind of get started with these walls, because at least this idea, this one seems a little more straightforward. Happy with how that looks. Yeah, that's got a good shape. That's kind of gonna get curved a little here, so I think that's a good width for that. Now we just need to make another one. Now the tongue, which I think I should grab another color and just really make sure all three of these pieces are distinct for looking at in the future. Let me grab that. Just because I used it earlier and still have it, the yellow from Curling Stone will be our tongue. realized I described it wrong. It's gonna start off with just some regular rows without any decreasing. Because I need to make sure that I've got enough of that covered for the area where it's like further apart. Is it even gonna decrease? Wait a minute. Do I just need to make a rectangle and then round it off? Am I making this more complicated than it is? A tongue is just a rectangle rounded off. Not the mouth, the shoe tongue. I mean, I guess they're both a rectangle with that's rounded off. Okay, well, maybe I've been making this more complicated than I need it to be, and it's just building up the rows. Hold on, I'm gonna go get a shoe. By shoe, I just went ahead and got my skates, because I have the real thing. Why would I not get that as an example? Let's take a look at these guys. I actually got a pretty nice shape here, and in all honesty, kind of the opposite. We're kind of growing, but not by much. And it really is just tiny there because of the way that this company does their shaping, and not to have the bulk like right on top of your toe, like either your pinky or your big toe. So I don't think that's a problem because we're not going to care about that bulk. We're not getting an actual foot in here. So if we just start kind of going, and then with our rounding, then we can make that top bit, Velcro. We can make that top bit a little bit longer so it can kind of stick up. And then I just need to essentially make something, probably just like in black, just so it's like, you know, just make a little cover there for the stuffing once we are done stuffing it. But I really like that concept is not bad, right? Like it's across all the way. We're just gonna start with like it building and the tongue going. So it'll be here and then our tongue will go underneath, which is like this construction as well. You just don't see that because it's got these bumpers here, just so it doesn't rip up the leather. And then of course, like I said earlier, I gotta figure out what to do from a wheels scenario, and then also really the toe stop. I wasn't thinking about needing to have a toe stop, but I probably want something. I'm thinking maybe like somehow getting beads, well, at least for the ones that are this size, maybe beads and wire, like wiring through the base and having beads and doing like a little bead on the end for the toe stop would help. Anyway, these are my skates. So everyone on my team calls me Spidey. Oh, skate leash. So you see, I don't know how well it shows in the camera, but it says Spidey across the strap here. And yeah, I love them. Let's keep working on this tongue. So I think we will just make a rectangle, round it off, and I think that will be what we need to do. I think I was trying to overcomplicate it. No, I was wrong. This is just gonna make a straight wall. I need to be able to come in and like, okay, this math is gonna be more complicated. Oh, I thought I found a simple solution, but I did not. Need to rethink my design. So I even think the side walls. I should have just had my skate to begin with before I tried to design things, because that makes sense. This is essentially in the round. And then it's in the round all the way, and then it continues, kind of starts going back and forth, essentially. I'm trying to think about how this is with crochet construction as compared to fabric construction. And this is where the original concept of it kind of being all one is what I was initially thinking, because it is in the round and then you kind of just like made holes for the tongue. That did round it out a lot, and I do want to try and keep that separation between the two pieces to see if I can just kind of make it more distinct. So I do want them like straight up, but they do need to curve in order to be over where the tongue will be. I do think the tongue, in a general sense, if we're able to kind of do this in the round as our next piece to come off of the footbed, then I do think we can just add in just a rectangle that is rounded on the top for the tongue. And I don't think the tongue needs to be as wide as I initially thought it needed to be, because I was trying to have it make up the entire stitches of the toe box. So let me go back to the drawing board. All of this has been filmed without my light on. Great. I'm gonna go back to the drawing board, see what I can do, and I'll show you what I come up with. All right, so I did some things off camera because I really just was not sure how this was gonna work. And I'm gonna kind of walk through what we have done. Basically, you can see with the yellow here, I wound up going in the round. I just kind of slip stitch joined it onto the footbed, and it's a little hard to see. There's too many ends right now. And then after a few rows, I started decreasing right here at the front to kind of bring that toe bed in. And then after, I think I did like 2 rounds of decreasing, I then fastened off and just slip stitch joined. So you can see here I slip stitch joined again and then did a couple of rows back and forth, and then I did one little thing to try and see if that would make a difference. I don't know if it really did, but we're trying it. I slip stitched in some, then single crocheted, and then slip stitched back all the way to the end of the round. And I'm using those slip stitch markers as where I am starting to sew in my tongue. So my tongue I just made a rectangle, I flared it out a little at the top, rounded it. Nothing big and crazy with the tongue once I kind of worked on this stitching better. Now with laying kind of flat, because of the increasing and decreasing we did, we see it's like really wants to bulge out, but if I flip it in, then it's kind of giving a pretty nice shape. And I don't mind that the bottom is flipped in. It's just going to be tricky seeing how it goes with the stuffing. I think the stuffing is really going to be particular to make this either work or need to be completely rethought of how to make, even just from the footbed. Because it might just be I need to build this out and just straight, and I don't know. Either the math is mathing real hard right now, or I tried to oversimplify one or the other. And if the stuffing works with it like this, I think we're in really good shape. If the stuffing doesn't and pushes everything, I might be back to the drawing board on this guy. But right now I'm happy with it. I flipped it inside out to get started with the sewing. So that's what I'm going to continue. That is what I'm going to continue to do right now. Sew the rest of the tongue on, and then we'll grab the polyfill and stuff it. Look at this side. Not that side. So I am happy with how that came out there. The tongue, a little tall. And I definitely met this down further because it felt like this side of the tongue was shorter. But it isn't. Yeah, so our tongue's a little ridiculous. Make that smaller. Don't tie in the detail that you made, because because you lose the effect. But when you look at it that way, you know, like fold the tongue in half, that side, that looks pretty good. Let's grab the polyfill. See how we do. Fairly happy with the progress we have made today. Is it perfect? No. Is it ready for me to just keep making these and have them like on stock? No. We're not there yet, but we made big progress. We're on the floor again, because all the things are always on the floor. This is where we started, right? Like, yes, sir? What can I do for you? May I record again? I don't know if I'm allowed to. I'm gonna keep going. He's just staring at me. Now it's just fine tuning. Things like the bottom of the foot still wants to kind of bulb out, which I'm not the most surprised with given how it was looking before we put stuffing in. It is fixing itself really easily. Obviously I made the tongue too long, you know, that's, you know. Yeah. The tongue's too long. The sewing I wasn't perfect with, and that needs to be fixed. Overall though, I think we are getting the shape really well, the way that I want the pieces to be. Am I going to keep working on this tonight and try and perfect it? No. I'm mentally done. I'm done with the math. I'm done with trying to figure things out, but I'm really happy with where I have gotten. And I'm going to spend the rest of my night, probably the rest of my weekend, just working on my easy project, enjoy some granny stitches, and not have to think about math or really even think what I'm crocheting. I think someone is licking my leg now. Someone's very happy I have a skirt on, and there's all the mess that's not normally seen visible on the camera. Hi, buddy. May I finish recording? Okay, you just keep clicking. Sounds good. I apparently need to give Peter attention. He is waiting for it. So thank you for joining me today. Click all the buttons that YouTube wants you to. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think of the progress we have made from 1 to 2. And I'm excited to see where we're gonna go with prototype number 3. If you have any suggestions for like finagling this a little bit, feel free to share. Also, do you think we should do a sports series? Like, I would love to make more sports equipment, and I would love your suggestions. Don't just give me like a baseball or basketball. Like, that's fine. It's colors and I can, you know, like embroider around the design. Maybe a soccer ball. If I were to do it with making the true panels, that could be interesting. But also it's just gonna be like hexagons and pentagons, so it's not super hard, but I'm curious. Maybe a soccer ball. The hard thing is going to be making it tight enough for amigurumi so stuffing's not coming out. Anyway, give me sports equipment, give me obscure things, give me things that aren't just round, and let's see what we can figure out. I don't know. They might work. They might not. I mean, this one works better than this one. But yeah, if that's something you're interested in the future, give me suggestions and we can do that. I hope you all have a great week, and I will see you next time. Bye. Hi. Hi, good boy. Is mommy done filming? Yeah?